And welcome to a very, very cold morning in Jiangsu Province. This is the city of Xuzhou, just a little bit further down the canal. And God, it's cold, my face is like ice. But there's some amazing things here. It has a wealth of history. Well, the history in this place is not above ground, it is below ground. So luckily, most of the things we're looking at today are in museums or, like I said, underground in tombs. Hopefully a little bit warmer now here.
First up is Xuzhou's very own terracotta army. Not quite on the same scale as the world-famous terracotta army just outside of Xi'an, but nevertheless one of the most important 20th century discoveries in China. The army guarded the tomb of Liu Wu, a prince who ruled these parts during the early Han Dynasty. At this time in China, control was not completely centralized, and various kings or princes had quite extensive power. During Liu Wu's time, the rebellion of the Seven States broke out against the emperor's increasing power, but ultimately the rebellion failed, and the power of the emperor then became absolute. Liu Wu, as one of the leaders of the Seven States, commits suicide in 154 BCE, and although his son was allowed to take the title of prince after him, his power was much diminished.
As you can see, they're not quite on the same scale as the life-size figures in the terracotta warriors in just outside of Xi'an, the very famous tomb of the first emperor of China. Nevertheless, kind of amazing stuff. This guy was not a emperor, by the way. So a couple of the pits here are actually underneath the lake. They call it the aquatic terracotta warriors. It was only opened in 2006 as a museum, this part. Let's have a look.
Outside of the main hall, there are various other cavalry pits from the tomb to explore, but for me, the best was yet to come. The Han Dynasty is famous for its relief art. I personally think Han Dynasty relief art is far superior to later dynasties' artwork, and there may not be a better exhibit of it anywhere else in China. Stone carvings like these were usually used for tombs and have provided a great wealth of understanding for ancient life in China. The relief art gives images of daily life, farming, board games, and more formal matters such as kowtowing before a ruler. Mythical creatures feature heavily in the relief art here. Phoenixes and dragons in particular are common subjects on the stone tablets. This Yinglong, a dragon associated with the rain, being my personal favourite. I spent a long time here, but it's time to move on.
Oh, almost that time I need another coffee. My hands and face are ice. I thought it'd be warm down here, man. I'm in Jiangsu Province. When I think Jiangsu, I'm thinking like Xuzhou, you know, spring, summer cities.
This city, formerly called Pengcheng, has produced a lot of famous people throughout history, and in line with our Han Dynasty journey today, one of those people was Liu Bang, the first emperor of the Han Dynasty.
And there he is. That's Liu Bang, who was the first emperor of the Han Dynasty. He was born just down the road from here. His story is an interesting one. He was a commoner and rose to be the emperor, the first emperor of the Han Dynasty, which was one of the most important dynasties in Chinese history. Lasted around 400 years, and a lot of the words that we have to, we talk about Han Chinese people or the language Hanyu. All of these things come from this dynasty. It was the one that really solidified China as a country rather than a lot of independent states with similar cultures.
This is a unique site and should not be missed if you visit Xuzhou. The Guishan Han Dynasty tomb is the resting place of another, slightly later prince of the Han Dynasty, Liu Zhu and his wife. The tomb consists of 15 rooms and some long, scary tunnels. It is carved out in incredible fashion, using what must have been very basic tools, given its over 2,000-year history.
It's kind of freaky in here, to be honest. So this was what they believed was the original burial chamber. But like I said, the roof caved in a little bit, so I guess they moved him. It's a fascinating place to explore. Let's keep going, shall we?
The tomb was discovered in 1981 by some local villagers and is the only Han Dynasty tomb in the area with a known occupant. I love this place, quite a surreal feeling wandering around the various rooms, not knowing what lies around the next corner, and also something creepy in the room which contained the body of Liu Zhu himself.
So this was the burial room. Apparently when they opened the coffin, this shadow on the wall appeared, which they believe is him, the King of Chu, welcoming people. It's a bit creepy. Wow, what a fascinating place. I just came back out. Snow's got heavier, as you can see. Anyway, a lot of the, well, basically all of the artifacts that were found in the tomb are kept in the Xuzhou Museum. So we're going to go there now and have a quick look. There's some amazing things in this museum. I'm quite excited. Let's go.
A superb museum full of Xuzhou's Han Dynasty artifacts. Top billing goes to the jade suits on display. 2 were on loan to other museums when I visited, however, one fantastic example remains. This suit is made up of 2008 pieces of jade, tied together with bronze wire. The suit covers the entire body. The material used to tie the pieces together is said to reflect the status of the individual, gold thread being reserved for the most important Han Dynasty royalty, emperors. There is a written record of jade burial suits in ancient Chinese texts, but it was not until the 1960s that the first one was actually discovered.
These jade burial suits were very the thing for, you know, Han kings and nobility. I've seen one of these before actually in a museum in a tomb in Guangzhou. Stunning.
The rest of the museum contains some great treasures, many of which are from the tombs located around Xuzhou. If you are visiting China, basically any history museum is worth a look. Often some of the best are in the smaller, less visited cities. This museum is a great way to spend a couple of hours, but anyway, on to our last stop, Ximatai.
So on a little hill in the middle of the city is this place which is called Ximatai, like the horse training ground of the very famous general Xiang Yu. And it's quite a nice little spot.
The great Han Dynasty was preceded by the short-lived and first dynasty of China, the Qin, and one of the rebel leaders who brought about the end of the Qin dynasty was Xiang Yu. It is said that from here he observed his military and equestrian competitions when he made this city his capital. However, Xiang Yu would soon meet his end at the hands of another rebel leader, Liu Bang, who would go on to become the first emperor of China's Han Dynasty. A nice place to end the day, high above the city. I will be back, Xuzhou.
And there he is, that's Xiang Yu. Alright guys, I think that's it from Xuzhou. But a really nice time. Maybe I'll come back in the spring or summer when it's not absolutely freezing. Cool place, so lots of amazing history here. Anyway, until next time, see you later. Bye bye.